about what's going on in the White House today. What is on the agenda other than the great land giveaway in Ukraine, which I wrote about today? So why don't we start there, my friend?
Yeah, great article, by the way, Dean, about the land, because that's what it's all about. Listen, I'm going to break it down to you simple, stupid. I mean, without all the complication, without all of it, trying to give you all this hype and from both sides the media is talking about. Let's understand. Let's go facts, because I like facts. So factually, that
Yeah.
we have Donald Trump, we have Vladimir Putin, both even from this theatrical Alaska meeting, come out and say that Ukraine has to give up land. Not only did they say Ukraine has to give up
Yeah.
land, they said they want Ukraine to swap land. I mean, whatever that means. I mean, they want Ukraine to give up land that Russia has not even touched or has not even encountered. But anyway, so they have made it very strong that that's happening. Donald Trump, even today, early at 4 o'clock in the morning, tweeted out our Truth Social saying that, NATO's off the table, Article 5 is off the table. Like, I mean, basically telling you exactly that nothing changed. So basically, nothing changed from what Russia's saying. So the only way, and they both said Russia
Yeah.
has come out with a statement, and Trump has come out with a statement and said the only way this war stops is up to Zelensky. So it's up to Zelensky basically to take it or leave it what they're giving him. So that's factual number one. Now let's take factual number two. Zelensky has come out every day, including today, prior to going, showing up at the White House, prior to meeting, prior to taking off, saying that we are not giving up Donbass. We are not giving up our land. It is not part of our constitution. It's not happening. And, so you have two factual things saying and there's nothing to negotiate. So you could say to yourself, so why
Yeah.
are they meeting? What could possibly they be negotiating about, right? Well, I'm going to now explain to you
Hmm.
because I was in those meetings. And before we get there, just to give you a little background of the type of meetings that is, first of all, I'm the very first person before Donald Trump met Zelensky. I'm the guy he sent to pressure Zelensky, to pressure his team, just like they're doing now into a deal. Back then, it was to pressure him to be able to get, because remember, Zelensky and Ukraine has been at war with Russia since 2014, not since 2022. And when he sent me the first time over to Ukraine to do his dirty work, to dig up dirt on Joe and Hunter Biden and force Zelensky, extort him into either announcing an investigation into them or that he would stop all military aid, I was the messenger. So I know these people. I was in the room, and what did he do? Now history shows us he stopped military aid, and so at that time. So now it's not me. You got Steve Witkoff as the messenger and doing all of the stuff. It's the same old tactics, but basically it's the same game plan. Trump thought that when he gets into office, that Zelensky was going to be a pushover. He thought that he was going to be able to give Zelensky whatever win that he could give him, and dangle maybe some kind of in front of his eyes, and then give Putin the win that he wanted to, and it didn't go down that way. Zelensky not
Yeah.
only stood up to him in the first administration by not announcing an investigation into Joe and Hunter Biden, but Zelensky is constantly stepping up to him in this administration by not giving in to any of these crazy draconian demands by Russia. And then if you take a look about now Donald Trump, you say he's a negotiator, right? I'm breaking it down to you folks. Again, and those of you that are joining, we're going to resend this because it's very important for you guys to understand what's happening. So if you joined late, you'll be able to rewatch it. But, it's important for you to understand and hit those buttons, the heart buttons, the share buttons, send it far wide. So let's continue. So Zelensky, is now going into they have nothing to negotiate. They have basically one hand on the other side, one on the other side. But Zelensky and the European leaders understand that they still hope that there's going to be one day a change in the administration. They still hope that there's still going to be, future, that this is not Donald Trump and his administration, the end of all for the rest of their life. So have to be political. They have to keep playing the game because they can't turn U.S. people, "Hey guys, I think we just lost Dean." Le- I don't know. Let's see if he comes back here. I don't know. I've never encountered that where the host. Do you guys see me? Can you? Am I still? Are we? Am I still live? You know what? I'm going to tell you guys, I just got off another interview I was doing with Hal Sparks. For those of you who know that Hal, and the same exact thing is happening. I think they're literally, and I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but they're trying to limit me from going on social media and talking because everywhere I'm going out today and I've given 3 interviews, and each and every one of those interviews, we've had technical issue, and somehow they were trying to stop right when I was going into what Donald Trump and they were talking about. But while we're waiting for Dean, as long as you guys could hear me, let me bring you up to speed on what is going on at this meeting, what they're going to be talking about. So what my sources, and I broke it today in my letter for those of you that haven't seen it yet, make sure you go read it. It's called "Breaking Bribes, Bombs, and Betrayal." Is basically Donald Trump's method because of trying to he's going to try to intimidate and pressure Zelensky. Some of the ways he's going to be able to do that is by remember MAGA and their whole perception of Zelensky and the Ukrainian war is that Zelensky is corrupted, that him and his people have been stealing money from Ukraine and the aid that America has been giving, and because of that, they have what's it called? Always said that when this war is over, we want accountability, and one of the accountability is they're going to try to go after Zelensky and everybody else to get accounting of the money and try to blame people, hold people accountable. Also, if this war were to end and Russia would be the winner, remember, Putin wants Zelensky dead. Putin doesn't even consider Zelensky a leader. That's another very important reason why they're not going to have this trilateral meeting that they're talking about. Is never going to happen. Oh, there he is back. Is because Putin it will never
There
legitimize
we go.
Zelensky as
Sorry,
a
buddy.
leader.
Phone overheated.
No, come on back. I was holding down your show for you, Dean. It's like I, I said I never had that happen where I was I went from guest to host really quickly on that one.
You know what? It's the hazard of doing a live show on the road when you're busy because my phone overheated and I lost you. And I was just praying that you could vamp. I should have known better. The great Lev Parnas just carried the show for me as the guest and the host. Continue because I am fascinated. Keep going, baby. Keep going.
So yeah, Trump is what I'm hearing is gonna, as I was telling you, the first thing he's gonna intimidate him. He's gonna try to tell him, "Listen, we are going to protect you. You and your inner circle will be able to have a free. You'll be able to either move to America, wherever you want. You will we have no prosecution from the United States or from the Russians or from the Ukrainians. You'll basically go retire or." And this is the crazy part because he actually, I'm heard say that, and I could see Trump saying that because I'll give you another example. He told him, you could be the king of Hollywood because you are such a great actor. You have such great stuff going on, production company, Hollywood. I mean, this sick in the mind that you could come. And this is what he wants to sum up the thing. And there's others to, intimidate him, scare him, and offer him a way out, and also think that because to Trump it's all about money, power, that to give Zelensky a way out of that. From the Ukrainian side, I'm hearing that Zelensky is not going to go for it. He's going to basically go tell him to go fuck himself and let's go. And that's why it's going to be interesting to see how this day plays out because I'm hearing there's going to be several scenarios that they're preparing for. The White House is preparing for several scenarios. So the first scenario is where in their dream world is that he meets with Zelensky, he pressures him. Zelensky agrees to some sort of, not fully, but some sort of makeshift deal that gives Russia Trump some sort of a win They bring the Europeans in, and they solidify it, and it's Trump looks like a hero. Putin continues to do what he wants. Zelensky then has to go figure out how not to get killed in his own country by his own people, and like that. That's what Trump's hope is. But in
Yeah.
reality, what I'm hearing is going to go down one of two ways. Either Zelensky is they're gonna have not a very good, pleasant conversation because where they won't be able to come to an agreement, and Trump is gonna get frustrated and then call off the all the other uh press conferences and joint ventures and basically send them all home. Blame Zelensky, say that he doesn't want peace, turn this whole thing into a fiasco, or maybe then later on meet with the Europeans without Zelensky. I mean, turn this whole thing into a sham and try to make Zelensky be the bad guy.
Hmm.
Or the other thing which I'm hearing is you're going to see some real incredible uh, world some of the best worldwide political spin that you've ever seen in your life and that's why they're all there, the leaders of all these countries, to be able to, because at the end of the day they all know that they're not leaving with a peace deal. They don't, because they don't they it takes a lot longer than a 1 hour conversation. They also know they're not leaving with a ceasefire, and that's a very important part which was taken off the table in this whole Alaska
In
situation.
Alaska. Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize that without a ceasefire, it's almost impossible to do a peace deal. Because if you have people getting killed, like we have literally right now, as we're talking, Russia is bombing Ukraine. I've wrote about it, read about it. I mean, they're stealing kids, they're raping women, they're bombing. It's happening as a. So how are you saying that
Aren't
on
they
one
sending? They're sending like 6,000 more North Korean troops in there too today. They
6,000,
hit them with 100.
absolutely. There's more.
Yeah.
There's North. So how is and they're doing it while supposedly there's a peace conference happening in the Oval. So just think about the disrespect, and to go even further, just think about the disrespect and that Trump is allowing them to get away with. I put it in my Substack. They now are Russian tanks are hanging up American flags next to Russian flags, and are
Did you see
driving
that
down
video?
into
Did you see
Ukraine.
that
This
today?
is
Yeah.
fucking insane and sick. How come? How do you not have Trump come out and say something about? Oh, Zelensky just arrived at what's it called?
White House.
At the White House. There was no red
Yeah.
carpet. There was no people kneeling down. Trump wasn't standing there. I'm just giving you the update. There was no clapping
Yeah.
going on.
Well, dude,
It was,
did you see Zelensky's plane show up? Dude is wearing a t-shirt. He's wearing his army fatigues. He just literally bounded down the stairs.
well,
All
well,
fucking
well,
business.
well,
No
well,
red carpet. Contrast with what happened in Alaska. That was fucking embarrassing.
and between me and you, and I know a lot of people think don't want to hear me say it, but I'm going to tell you, and I'm almost certain, and that especially after speaking to my contacts in Russia and in Ukraine, that was not that would. Okay, let me put it this way. I don't know how many real Putins out there. There's at least three Putin that I know confirmed through my sources that are out there that are doubles, literal doubles that are using it was. And if you read my Substack letters, I've given you enough proof to show you that that's part of the KGB. That's part of what they do internally, because especially after COVID, when Putin went a little bit
Mhm.
haywire and got stuck in his bunker and all. If you, and I beg of you, Dean, if you just do me a favor, take a look at side by side, literally the 2 days about Putin's acts, the way he acts, just the way he walks. You have to understand, Putin is a lifelong KGB agent. He's a soldier. He walks. It's like, when you're a soldier for 50 years, you have a walk that is like consistent. Take a look at the way the Putin that was walking in Alaska. Take a look at how Putin greets Donald Trump and every leader. It's always with a firm handshake. Here you have Putin coming in, trying to give him a high five. I mean, I've watched the guy 40 years. I mean, the guy that they had there, and the way he was with the media for
Oh, dude,
Putin to
did you
turn
see
around like,
him? Yeah, yeah. Did you see him? He was
are
in
you,
the
are you,
like They were
I,
yelling
how about
questions at him.
how
He
about I'm
starts
gonna
yelling back. He starts
how
making
about
faces.
I'm gonna go on the limb and tell you that that guy, whichever double was there, is no longer around after that appearance. I- because because I'll tell
You
you
fucked it
if you
up. You fucked it.
because if I tell you because if you take a look literally
Mm,
yesterday, and I will post it on my Substack and I will share it with you guys, the Putin that was addressing his the same people, Medvedev, all of them, on his trip to Alaska, you'll see the difference of the guy, the way he talks. Putin doesn't. Let me tell you as a show. Putin doesn't take cards and fumble. Did you see in Alaska how he was like standing there?
yeah.
Oh. No, no, that's not Vladimir Putin. Guys, Vladimir Putin talks and talks very strict, and there's no laughing, and so these people don't laugh. These are these all. I mean, he's a trained killer. This is, I mean,
Hmm.
the giggling and the watching and the running around and the jumping up and down and the way he talked and the hugging and the behind the scenes. I mean, anyway, I'm not. It's and the one thing I want to tell you, it's irrelevant which Putin, which double it was, because at the end of the day, and this is what I want you folks to understand, and what we're watching play out here, it's not about the man or the. It's about an ideology, about a system. They're called the
Hmm.
KGB.
Hmm.
So the
Yeah.
the FSB.
Hmm.
And Donald Trump is trying to do the same thing here, because it's not about Donald Trump. Because a lot of people, I was just on a show with Hal, and Hal was saying to me, he's old, he's going to get, it's not about Donald Trump, guys. It's about the Federalist Society. It's about the people behind the scenes, like Russell Vought, like people like Stephen Miller. Now they got people like Susie Wild. These are very, very powerful, smart, and very devious people that are implementing a system. Donald Trump is just the face. There'll be others that will be, they need to be able to change the laws and rules, because they will not be able to get another one of their people elected. So they need to be able to hold on to power. They know Donald Trump is going to be gone eventually, but they don't know if they could get a JD Vance or one of their other people elected because of, mega crash. So they have to go out there. And that's why he's changing just literally today after his conversation with Vladimir Putin. The media is not reporting on it. How he came out and said, Vladimir Putin, the bright, smart guy, turned around and told me that the election was rigged. I would have won 2020. It was all because of the mail in voting. No other country has mail-in
Yeah.
voting. Vladimir Putin said it, and because
And what did he do
Vladimir
today? And what did
today
Trump do today with that?
he's getting rid of mail-in voting. He's getting he's getting he's
So
getting
so
rid
in,
of
in offense,
he's
yeah.
getting rid of mail-in voting today. He's come out and announced that that's part of, now they're he's getting rid of, and
Hmm.
because of Vladimir Putin said, nowhere else in the world. These are all, guys, these are all games or pretenses. This is all being done just like ICE. I mean, just think about what ICE is. Just think about what's going. Just think about this deep. We're talking about all this shit. We're talking. Oh, I think. Hold on a second. Oh, they're talking, guys. Do you want? I'm gonna let's
Yeah, let's
stream this
let's
live.
cover it live. Let's take it
Yeah,
live. Yeah, let's take it live and then we'll get into it. Yeah, for sure.
It's supposed to be estimated Trump. So what's Zelensky? You said in a post on this today, Russia wants him this for itself started President Trump. You said President Zelensky the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, which is I think that's true. I think they'll we're gonna have a meeting. I think if everything works out well today, we'll have a trilat. And I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that. Is this the other point for Americans important for is today's meeting deal or no deal? I can never say that. It's never the end of the road. People are being killed and we want to stop that. So I would not say it's the end of the road. No, I think we have a good chance of doing it. It's been almost 4 years now that a lot of people were killed last week. A lot of people last week. I mean, millions of people killed, but a lot of people last week for whatever reason. A big number, a lot of soldiers, both on both sides. And I know the president. I know myself, and I believe Vladimir Putin wants to see it end.
And as you never on Friday, so you've got President Zelensky here. As you listen to what's said in Ukraine, which side has the better cause?
Well, I don't want to say. I'm just here to be. Look, this isn't my war. This is Joe Biden.
Jesus Christ.
Here we go. Here we go.
Good for everybody. We wanted to end good. The people of Ukraine have suffered incredibly.
Mr. Zelensky, are you prepared to keep sending Ukrainian troops to their deaths for another couple of years, or are you going to agree to withdraw that?
Thank you for your question. So, first of all, we live under PJ attacks. That today have been like a lot of attacks, but a lot of wounded people and the child that is a small one year and a half. So we need to stop this war to stop Russia. We need support. American and European obviously will do our best for this. So, and I think we showed that we are strong people, and we supported the United States President Trump to stop this war, to make diplomatic way to finish this war, and we are ready for trilateral, as President said. This is still about trilateral. I think this is very good. Thank you.
If the peace deal will be achieved, are you going to be willing to send American peacekeepers to Ukraine?
Well, we're going to work with Ukraine. We're going to work with everybody, and we're going to make sure that this peace, the peace is going to stay long term. This is very long term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace, and then we end up in this mess again. We're going to make sure that everything's good. We'll work with Russia. We're going to work with Ukraine. We're going to make sure it works. And I think if we can get to peace, it's going to work. I have no doubt about it.
Where do you guys talk about? Do you think something about security guarantees? Could that involve too much troops? Would you roll that out in the future?
We'll let you know that maybe later today. We're meeting with 7 great leaders of great countries also, and we'll be talking involved. But there'll be a lot of help when it comes to security. There's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're with the help of others, so we'll be involved.
What in actually that the war and addressing the root causes of this war. Have you had an understanding what are the root causes of this war?
Look, if the war is going to end, when it ends, I can't tell you, but the war is going to end, and this gentleman wants it to end, and Vladimir Putin wants it to end. I think the whole world is tired of it, and we're going to get it ended. It was, I've done 6 wars. I did 6 wars, and I thought this maybe would be the easiest one. And it's not the easiest one. It's a tough one. A lot of reasons for it.
He hasn't ended any wars.
Done it for a long time, but they'll be talking about the others. Look, India, Pakistan, we're talking about big places. When you look at, you just take a look at some of the, you go to Africa and take a look at that, Rwanda and the Congo, Republic of the Congo. That's been going on for 31 years. And so we've done a total of 6, and we really have 6, not including the fact that we obliterated, and it's turned out to be a total obliteration. Nuclear. And this one, I think we're going to get solved also. I feel confident we're going to get it solved.
He's so full of shit.
Mr. President, can you tell us about your conversations with European leaders and what they need to seek to support an end to the war?
Yeah, well, we're going to be meeting with a great representative group and 7 very powerful, very big countries and great people, all friends of mine and friends of yours.
You like the way it says friends of mine, friends of yours. You know who else talks like that?
President Trump, I think it's for Ukraine and for Russia to achieve a lasting and durable peace. If you can see it starts that Russia hasn't yet conquered. Do you think it's a fair peace for Ukraine?
We're going to have a lasting peace. Just to answer the first part, we're going to have a lasting peace. I hope it's going to be immediately. I hope it doesn't have to go on. And the people of the whole world is going to be very happy when that's announced.
You posted on social media, Mr. President, a very touching letter from the First Lady. And the letter was hand-delivered to President Putin. And it calls for an end to the war, essentially, because of the children and the children's future. Why did the First Lady feel that letter was necessary? Was it because she believes that Mr. Putin is the aggressor in the war? Is a similar letter being hand-delivered to President Zelensky?
So the First Lady felt very strongly. She's watched the same thing that you watch and that I watch. I see things that you don't get to see, and it's horrible. But when she's a great love of children, she has a wonderful son that she loves, probably more than anybody, including me. I hate to say it, but she loves her son. She loves children, and she hates to see something like this happening. And that goes for other wars too. But she sees that the heartbreak, the parents, the funerals that you see on television, always funerals. We want to see something other than funerals. No, she felt it's a beautiful letter. It was very well received by him. And she did ask me to say that she would love to see this end. She would love to see it end. And she says it very openly, very proudly, and with great sorrow because so many people have been killed.
Last week, Brian, go ahead, Brian. This I'm going to put for each of you. First of all, President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit. I should have said, you look good. I said the same thing. Yeah. What's it going to say? The one that attacked you last year. See, that was I remember. Yeah, I apologize. You look one. No, my first question for you, President Zelensky, it saves you. Hey, quickly, upon peace, God willing, we get peace. Are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election. Yes, we have to do safety circumstances. We need to.
You see that? When I tell you elections, part of what
Yeah.
they were, that's part of what he has to agree to. It's part
Yeah.
of the deal.
He's greasing the track.
And I'll tell you more about this after this. He's done it before with Maduro.
Open, legal elections.
You say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say,
See, here goes.
from that. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody,
So you see what just Trump said? Did you just see what Trump said? That if we're in a war with somebody for 3.5 years, then no more elections here in the United States.
Oh, there we go.
Because it seems they've been so critical of you every step of the way as you lead the charge for peace.
it's an amazing phenomenon. I said that if in the settlement you got Moscow, St. Petersburg, and thousands of miles around them, they would say I made a bad deal. The level of hatred and animosity is incredible. Not with all. We have great people up here. We also have terrible people up there. Then I think are told what to say. But in solving all of these wars, turning around about it, I solved major wars. I solved wars.
Oh, here we go again. Jesus.
Go into a full-blown deal very quickly. You know which one I'm talking about.
You know the one I'm talking about, the big one.
He doesn't know.
Anything to do with you, it's probably to your advantage in a certain way. But no matter what I did, no matter what deal I made, from my standpoint,
Here comes a Nobel Peace. Nobel Peace.
I say Trump was absolutely horrible. It's just it. And I've lived with that for.
What a narcissist, huh? That's all he cares about. I told you.
Oh my God.
That's all he
God.
cares about.
Yeah.
He wants to look good. That's all he cares about.
He's capable of taking any conversation, any question, and turning it into padding his resume with shit that never has ever happened. It's unbelievable to watch.
When you do the right thing, as an example, they said because of the fact that Vladimir Putin came to American soil. This was a tremendous defeat for Donald Trump. No, it was really wonderful that he did it. It was a hard thing for him to do, to be honest with you. It was the opposite of what they said. What they said. Now, if he didn't come, they said that was also bad for Trump. Yeah, his joy. And it's just a great dishonesty of the press. And I think that's why it's lost its credibility. You know, its credibility.
Here comes his attack on the press, freedom of the speech.
Right now in D.C., we went from the most unsafe place anywhere.
Martial law. Here we go.
Now people, friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, "Sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years."
I'll take conversations that never happened for 1,000.
And a Democrat called him.
I came in fourth yesterday in the big tournament where Scotty Scheffler made the great shot. And he said his son is going to dinner in Washington, D.C. tonight. I said, would you allow that to happen a year ago? He said, no way. No way. He said, you've done this incredible.
No way. Nobody eats dinner in Washington, D.C. No.
He's a dictator. He's trying to take over. No, all I want is security for our people. But people that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner. And the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time. So I'll walk around yesterday with MTG. If you can walk around D.C. with MTG and not be attacked, the city is like, yeah.
By the way, that's Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. He always gets the plum assignments. He was the guy that said something about Zelensky's suit.
For any type of ceasefire, we're not agreed to by Russia. Will there be severe consequences? Does that change? Because
I don't think he makes a ceasefire. You know, if you look at these,
you don't need a ceasefire, he just said.
Yeah. Well, he gave him a 90-day ceasefire opportunity, didn't he? And then he walked away from it. This is the only thing he's ever talked about is a ceasefire.
The other one wanted. You have a ceasefire, and they rebuild and rebuild and rebuild, and maybe they don't want that. But if you look at the 6 years that we made peace, long-term, long-running wars, I didn't do any ceasefires. I like the concept. I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight.
They have to fight, Yeah, they gotta fight, fight it out while we work.
Yeah, like kids.
Presidents want security. Here's something like that's the 28th decision to offer Ukraine Article 5 like security guarantees, but stop sort of pushing it. Careful, we haven't done anything on that yet. If you look back long before President Putin, it was always a statement that they would never allow Ukraine into NATO. So that was a statement. We haven't discussed any of that yet. We're going to be discussing it today. But we will give them very good protection, very good security. That's part of it. And the people
just like the mineral deal.
Oh yeah. There's a couple born liars saying they're going to protect Zelensky. They won't protect him. So far, you're batting 1,000, by the way, on your predictions.
Hundreds of billions of dollars to this war effort in Ukraine.
Biden
stalemate, killing continues. So President Trump, how much more is the United States willing to give Ukraine? And President Zelensky, how much more do you want?
Well, I'll start off just by saying we're not giving anything now. We're selling.
We're not giving anything anymore, he said.
Joe Biden.
There we go, Joe Biden.
Yeah. Right. Let's put it on Biden's plate.
By the way, go back 40 years. He was not a smart man 40 years ago either. But now he's in particular bad. This was done by a corrupt administration that shouldn't have been in. And frankly, if the right results of the election were given, if I were president, this war would have never taken place. And he would have been very happy.
He would have been very happy.
I mean, they went through hell. He went through hell. This war would have never happened. And the people that were killed, a couple of million people, a lot of people with soldiers and everything else, And the people that have been displaced and forced into other areas of other countries because of what's happened, none of that would happen. And I'm just saying that he was a horrible president, whether it was the borders.
He was horrible. What the fuck?
Just a horrible, ferocious president.
This is just speak to one of them. I think so much. So first of all, we have experience now to from the United States. We're thankful for this this opportunity. We're thankful for your debate on this and to need a program for example. And it's just we have some problems where we can have some money to find this. This is the part I think it's not a part for the war and to defend us. It also will be a part for security guarantees to strengthen our army, to rearm Ukrainian army. This is very, very important. And in the past, how much money we need to rearm. For example, the question of air defense, spoke about it with President Trump. We have now bilateral decisions and we work on it with production. Nobody in Europe has so many air defense like Patriots, for example. We need it very much. And this is also about defense.
Zelensky begging.
In the world by far. You mentioned the Patriots. How could it
Systems.
the systems they
Have you noticed how Zelensky has changed his kissing his ass right now? How Zelensky's like, you have the best missiles, really good missiles. And yes, we're grateful for buying it.
So we sell the equipment to NATO, and NATO does what I don't know what the arrangement is that you have with. I know that they want you to have the equipment, and we're getting the best equipment in the world, but they pay us for the equipment. Under Biden, it was just crazy what was going on. I believe the number is over 300. I think it could be 350.
300 million. Yeah.
Money and everything else. And we've made more progress in settling this war in the last 2 months than they made in 4 years. They should have been settled a long time.
He made two.
Go first. You pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in.
Oh, I told you, mail-in ballots.
Mail-in ballots are corrupt.
There he goes. What'd I tell you, folks?
Democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe.
There you go. Dean, you missed the mail-in ballots. He's signing an executive order to get rid of mail-in ballots.
Change of the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark.
Oh, now he's getting rid of the ballots.
Secure elections, we get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. But paper ballots, you have the results.
He wants to get rid of the machines now. He's getting rid of the machines and he's getting rid of early or mail-in votes.
Yeah, he's getting rid of the Smartmatic machines and he's getting rid of mail-in ballots. And that was a conversation that he had with Putin yesterday, just so everybody knows. And your son Aaron broke it this morning that the goal here is to cancel basically anybody's ability, specifically Democrats' ability to be able to vote. You knew this was going to be part of it, and you knew because Putin said to him in a private meeting the other day that he lost. Trump repeated that on the other day. He's like, hey, listen, I haven't called Putin. He's the smartest guy in the world. He told me I lost because of mail-in ballots. The second he puts his feet back in Washington,
they're fighting me.
Massive election reform.
Washington,
no mail-in ballots. Getting rid of the Smartmatic voting machines.
Like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad. I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt.
I told you. What did I just tell you before he said? What did I tell you before we get out of here?
Yeah, dude, you're batting 1,000. You're right about everything. That's always right.
But it's very hard to cheat. with mail-in voting, as you know, what happens in California is so corrupt, where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Well, we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything to do with redistricting, believe me.
Did you hear what he just said? If you stop mail-in voting, you're not going to have Democrats elected.
Yeah.
It's bigger than redistricting.
You need orders, and you need free and fair election.
There you go. Free and fair election.
He's hitting all the high notes now, isn't he?
In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 1, 0, 0, and 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I guess it's 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 millions of people poured into.
Zelensky's looking at him like he's a fucking moron.
Guarantees do you need for President Trump to be able to make a deal?
He's turning this whole thing into a soapbox for himself again, and it's all bullshit.
Really, it includes two parts. First, strong Ukrainian army. Then what I began to discuss with your colleagues. And it's a lot about weapon and people and training issues and intelligence. And second, we will discuss with our partners. It depends on the big countries, the United States, on a lot of our friends.
So how did you that NATO-like protection in order to get President Zelensky to a deal today?
Well, I don't know if you define it that way, but NATO-like, I mean, we have people waiting in another room right now. They're all here from Europe, biggest people in Europe, and they want to give protection. They feel very strongly about it, and we'll help them out with it. I think it's very important. I think it's very important to get the deal with.
You've been involved with the first 15 in the 26-year first stage of its administration. What would you say to the Ukrainian people right now who are suffering from the Russian fast and hoping that the people will stand with them?
Well, I know Ukrainian people. I've known many over the years. They're great people. They're smart. They're energetic. They love their country. I mean, they love their country, but we want to get this war ended. That's all I can do. I love the Ukrainian people.
Liars. Why are you talking about Russian people? Raise that right away. He loves the Russians also.
Yeah, loves them all. He loves anybody he can get money from, Lev.
Discussion with Vladimir Putin that left you disappointed.
Look, we just spoke to, I was just telling the president, I just spoke to President Putin indirectly, and we're going to have a phone call right after these meetings today. And we may or may not have a trilat. If we don't have a trilat, then the fighting continues. And if we do, we have a good chance. I think if we have a trilat, there's a good chance of maybe ending it. But he's expecting my call when we're finished with this meeting. Thank you very much.
That's the end of that. What a fucking joke. What a joke.
Oval Office.
That was a very interesting Oval Office meeting this day.
Dude, he hit every single high note. He hit every single point that you brought up about what he was going to do. He managed to get election reform in there, managed to tell everybody that that he was the most important person in that room. He managed to lie about how many different wars that he stopped. He managed to get in the election interference bullshit. He managed to, man, that meeting had nothing to do with peace in Ukraine. That meeting had nothing to do. That press conference had nothing to do with fucking peace in Ukraine, Lev. Absolutely nothing. It had everything to do with him and his self-importance again.
Well, let me tell you a couple of key takeaways from there that I want to let you know right away for you to understand it's not going anywhere. The first thing he said several times that this without a trilateral meeting, there's not the fighting is going to go on. And we don't know if we will or will not have a trilateral meeting. For you to understand, for all of you folks to really understand, and I need you to listen to me very carefully because this is not speculation, I'm giving you facts. Vladimir Putin does not accept Zelensky as a real president. He will not justify and sit down with them at any meeting, trilateral, bilateral meeting, because that will give him justification that he is a leader. Part of what Russia, and this is what you started hearing in the questions about elections. They asked Zelensky first if he's willing to have elections. Then Trump made a comment that if we go to war, that means we don't have to have elections, because part of what Russia is said is that not only the land, and here's the quiet part out loud, is that Zelensky has to go. You have to understand that. And this is what part of these conversations that are taking place right now. If you heard the way Zelensky responded to any of the questions, was Zelensky was trying to be very political by not saying that we're not giving up any land. He kept saying, yes, we need the support, yes, we need that. But Trump said the two most important thing what this whole meeting's supposed to be about. A, there's really not going to be any trilateral meeting, and B, Putin has not stopped any fight. Just think about it. He said we don't need a ceasefire. On one, he talks out of his ass with both ways. On one hand, he's saying that the first lady, we want to stop the killing, the war, but then he says it's okay if it goes on another 2-3 weeks while we're discussing it. We don't need a ceasefire. We don't need this stop. Did you see Zelensky's face when that was going on? I mean, like Zelensky
Oh
didn't
my
understand
God, yeah. Yeah.
what the hell's going on. And then he gets it's a setup question because the guy that asked him the question, it happens to be Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, folks. And the question is because I was telling you, he couldn't wait to, and he did it in front of Zelensky because Zelensky, everybody understands that where this is coming from, that he is showing him that he is like Putin. He's telling another president from a country that's supposed to look up to us and watch how democratic, and he's telling him that we don't have fair and square elections, that he's doing away with early voting. Not early voting, I mean mail-in voting, that he's doing away with the machines. What did I tell you, folks? For the past several months, I've been begging you, I've been telling you, spread this message far and wide. Why? Because now he's doing it. He has the martial law, every single thing. And I'm not patting myself on the back, and I don't want you to think I'm saying to you, I told you so. I just want you to understand because we have a lot of doubters there. We have a lot of naysayers, a lot of people saying, oh, Lev, how do you know? Or I'm begging you. It's all documented. Go on, subscribe to my Substack. Go take a look at every single, it's dated, it's time, and you will take a look at, I've been telling you this for 2-3 months, exactly what's taking place, what's happening. I have people, associates that are in these worlds. They're risking their lives. They're risking their freedom to get this information, to be passed on, not to be able to be like some reality show for us to be able to have fun, listen to it. No, pass this out. Spread the message. Subscribe. Do whatever you can. Become paid subscribers to Dean, to me, to all independent subscriber journalists out there, because you heard everything the guy's trying to do. He's going to take away our election because he said the three most important parts to you today. Forget about for a second about, because I promise you, nothing's going to come out of this meeting today. So if you're hoping to see some kind of peace deal come out, that's not going to happen. But what you should be concentrating right now, what he just said, extremely important, that it's crazy, as he told you is, he said, wait a second. So if we have a war, what did I say to you right before we got on, before this thing started? I said to you that if Donald Trump feels that he's losing the midterms, he is going to implement martial law. And what does Donald Trump say to you in the press conference? He says, oh, wait a second, Zelensky. So you're telling me that if there's a war going on, you don't have election. Interesting. Okay, guys, common sense here. Donald Trump's telling you what did I tell you? He just spoke to Putin, and Putin told him get rid of mail-in voting. That's what they rigged it for you, the Democrats. He just said to you that Democrats can't win without mail-in voting. It's even better. Just think about the words he used. It's even better than redistricting. What he's doing also right now, redistricting all over the place, getting more seats. And then he even gave you the other thing that I couldn't believe he could, because he can't keep it in his pants. What else did he tell you he's doing? He's going to get rid of the electronic voting machines. We're going to go back to paper.
Smartmatic machines. Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why are we going to go back to
Mhm.
paper? Because that's the easiest thing to manipulate. It's the easiest thing to lose. It's the easiest thing to because there's no records of it. You have to depend on the people that are actually doing it. And you know what? The people that are going to be actually doing it, it's all going to be handpicked Donald Trump loyalists that are going to be going through each and every single vote. You're not going to have any independent sources out there verifying what's it called. This is he just gave you the whole plan in the Zelensky meeting about what he's planning on doing here. And he said in front of Zelensky to explain to Zelensky that's what he has to look forward to there. So that's why now he's going to go in there and explain to him, listen, you have to give this up. You have to do this. Otherwise, this is how it's going to play out. It's sickening, Dean. Sickening to go with this witness.
Dude, you know what? It was disgusting again. I mean, everything from how Zelensky arrived to how Putin arrived. And I want to get to a couple of things that you mentioned a little bit earlier, but just to kind of recap, you're 100% right again. Prior to this conversation, prior to us getting on, Lev and I had a quick conversation this morning. And I want to talk a little bit about that because you made mention of a couple of things when we first started this podcast. And I was, my phone was overheating and I kept dropping out. But I believe we figured that part out. What I found really fascinating, to your point, is because maybe it's the dementia. He looked like shit again, but he let all the cats out of the bag, from election interference today to martial law. He let all the cats out of the bag, from redistricting to getting rid of smartmatic machines. He let all the cats out of the fucking bag. Like, you don't need to be a genius. Obviously, you just have to listen to him give up the goods. He gave up the goods today. He's redistricting. He is changing mail-in ballot votes, and he's doing it. He's doing it because Vladimir Putin, which he justified in the Hannity interview the other day, if you watch that, he's the smartest man I've ever met. He told me I won. I totally got rooked in 2020. And he said, what your problem is? Mail-in voting. So he comes back as soon as he lands in Washington, he's going to sign an executive order. Now, this has uphill battle written all over it because each state individually does their own elections, and you're going to have every single state that isn't a red state say, hey, go fuck yourself. We're not doing that. We're still going to do Smartmatic. Mail-in voting will still happen. But to your point, none of this was about peace. It was all about laying the tracks to steal the 2026 midterms. And let's get to fucking Washington for a second. How he was waxing about how no one's gone for dinner there for years because of the crime. And now he's got Democrats calling him saying, thank you so much. I'm allowed to go to dinner. We went to Applebee's tonight. We had the greatest night of our lives. It was so incredible. Like, dude, that was pure fucking insanity, on top of him calling Congo the Democratic Republic of Condo. So, like, listen, kids, what you just saw was pure insanity yet again. That was supposed to be a peace agreement or a peace deal. That was supposed to be a coming out party for a better relationship. That was supposed to be Zelensky. Now we saw what.
Dean, I'm sorry, but this is just the beginning. The day just started. So this was not so. We're just getting started. So I want to make sure that you go charge your phones. I want everybody out there. I want to tell you to make sure you get prepared. If you could take the day off from work, today's the day, because there's a lot of. I wrote about my Substack. The next 24 hours and this is it. Today is going to be extremely important because you have all the European leaders in there. You have Zelensky in there. He just told you he's about to call Putin after this. And so there's a lot of things that are about to go down. And none of them I could predict are good. Beyond that, you also have Bill Barr.
And you've been 100% right about everything so far.
And beyond that, you got Bill Barr testifying today. You got Bill that's supposed to be testifying, and from the way I know Bill Barr doesn't go out there to get to the bottom of the truth. He goes out there to bury the truth, to hide the truth, to repaint the story. And Jamie Comer, the head of the House Intelligence Committee, is Donald Trump's puppet. So that's another thing that's going on. And the other thing is what he told you today, and what we have happening. We have the National Guard in Washington D.C. and now Donald Trump, right now, as they just think about simultaneously as he is now going through this summit meeting with Zelensky, he is having executive orders being written up for him to sign later today about getting rid of mail-in voting, getting rid of Smartmatic, what's it called? So this is what's happening today, folks. The biggest, and I told you about, if you read my Substack, the biggest 24 hours. But Dean, I need to ask you, I need all of our subscribers and ask you to do me a big favor. I usually never ask you guys, but this is not for me. This is for the people of Ukraine. I see Alexander joined us and listening here. So right now, the people of Ukraine, especially in the region of Dnipropetrovsk, are getting bombarded. They're getting hit harder and harder every day. And as I explained to you, it's only going to intensify. No matter what happens that comes out of today, it's not going to stop the fighting, and it's not going to stop the Russian aggression that's happening there. We've put together a GoFundMe last week, a couple of days ago, actually, we announced it together when we were talking about Trump. And I want to thank each and every one of you. God bless you guys for donating. And we have about 50% of the way there to get Alex there. But we need to get him there as quick as possible, and we need to get as much supplies as much as we need, because it's hitting hard. So I usually don't do this. Don't talk about, but this is important for the people of Ukraine. I'm going to post the GoFundMe again up here. If you guys could respread it, pass it around. If you guys, anything counts, $1, $5, $10, anything, it makes a difference, because right now, the people of Ukraine need to know that we're standing with them. They need the help, very importantly. And we almost got our goal achieved. And the quicker we could get it achieved, the quicker we could get Alex on his way there and get a good thing then. Second thing I want to ask each and every one of you is very, very important, which again, it's not about today, it's about saving our country. So it's important. I need, and I'm asking you and pleading with you, because we are entering the next phase of really trying to save our democracy. And I'm not telling you this to fear monger. I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to, get clicks or play. I'm telling you because I'm extremely scared, because I have my own kids, and I know these people very well. I was in these rooms. I was the person, not only that Donald Trump sent to Ukraine, but I'll give you another little tidbit, a little story, how I've seen the same thing play out. But it was with a different country. It was called Venezuela. I was the person that was on the phone with Nicolas Maduro, the tyrant, the dictator, that at that point, it was me, Rudy Giuliani, Congressman Pete Sessions, that's currently sitting on the Oversight Committee, that was co-conspirator indictment number one in my own indictment, sat with me on behalf of Trump, working on a soft landing for Maduro. And do you know the things that we were discussing about giving Maduro, for him to be able to give, like right now, what did Trump say? Give a fair election, for Maduro to give an election, to be able to give him, to keep all his money from his inner circle of drug dealers, to keep their money and move to Texas. That's right, folks. Move to the United States. And Maduro even made comments like that I want to watch my Dallas Cowboys watch, stuff like that. And if you don't believe me, read the book, folks. It's in there. It's all documented. Shadow Diplomacy. You can pick it up on loveremembers.com. And it will give you the background of exactly what's happening right now with Donald Trump and what they're all doing. And what I'm asking each and every one of you.
And that's the offer.
And today, if you haven't done it yet, I need you to go to become a paid subscriber to Dean Blundell, to myself, to people like Alexander, Aaron Parnas, my son, the Midas Touch. And again, I know you can't do each and every one of you. Whoever you think you need to follow, you do it. But we need the support, because we're fighting a machine that's a lot bigger than just each and every one of us. We're fighting a machine that has billionaires, oligarchs, that's connected to a shady black enterprise money that's coming from overseas, that is fighting spreading and sending misinformation. What we're doing here is we're fighting that misinformation, disinformation, illusion with the truth. And to be able to speak truth to power, not only are we risking it from the legal purposes because of Donald Trump owning, controlling the DOJ, but also because of the financial aspect of them pushing the media, the social media. So we need each and every one of you, and we beg and we talk about it all the time. But this time it's serious. This time each and every dollar helps, each and every subscription helps, and most importantly, is to spread the message. We don't have paywalls. We bring you here this because this is important, because I'm doing this, and I know people like Dean and others are doing because we truly care and want to save our democracy, not because I want to be a professional YouTuber or social media. Trust me, I tell you, that's not the case. I'm doing it because I'm risking a lot. Because not only Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and a lot of these other people that we talk about on the list know me personally, and I'm now becoming a thorn in their shoe because I'm starting to expose because everything they're doing. Because my platform's only been Dean. I've been around on Substack only about 3 months. It's not like, so that's why, eventually they're going to come and they're going to try to shut this up. And that's why the bigger we become, the stronger we become, the better, the harder it is going to become for them to do it. And that is the only way we're going to be able to save our democracy. So I'm asking you guys today, personally, as a personal favor to me, if you guys, whoever can, the things that I'm asking is help with the people of Ukraine and Alexander, and donate whatever you can to his GoFundMe so he could go start delivering the much needed aid in Ukraine. And also, I'm asking you today to make sure that if you're on the line of becoming a subscriber, to become subscribers, and if you can become paid subscribers, because it's you that allow us to be able to fight truth to power and speak up, because we are entering the next phase. What we heard today, what we saw today, what we saw happen today, and what Donald Trump said out loud that couldn't hold in the pants, and now that he's going to start signing executive orders to start rewriting our elections, is what I've been telling you. It's called election reform, and it's all being put together right now. Donald Trump is the one speaking about it, but the ones that are writing it are people like Stephen Miller, Russell Vought, and now Susie Wiles. And I keep mentioning those names, remember them. So I'm asking each and every one of you, please, you could always cancel later on, you could always do it, but for now, we need to save our democracy, and every dollar, every subscription, every share, restack message helps. So thank you from the bottom of my heart in advance.
Well, listen, buddy, there's no one better at predicting the future when it comes to everything Donald Trump does than you. You have been in those rooms. You know these people. You know the players. You still have tendrils and tentacles in and around the Oval Office and the White House as well. You bat 1,000 again today. Everything. You called everything from his offer to Zelensky to trying to take this offline to the way that he presented, peace and how he vacillated between the two, and to get behind the scenes, with someone like you on a weekly basis, and some would say daily basis. Everybody needs to follow Lev, subscribe to his channel, become a paid sub. Make sure you stay close to him during this whole thing because he's the Trump whisperer. He knows exactly what Donald Trump says and what he means. He knows the game plan. He knows the people. And I got to thank you because you've been doing yeoman's work. You're not just an award-winning whistleblower, but you're an American hero, my friend. Live from Odessa, wherever you're from, you go to New York, you're now in Miami, or whether in California or you're traveling to Washington D.C. None of this is a game to you. You take this very seriously. You have staked your safety and your reputation and your career, your life on bringing people this information. So listen, I got to thank you. As always, let's do this again this week. Oh, my man, anytime. Keeping the people of Canada informed, keeping the people of the United States informed. Lev, you be good, my friend, and we'll talk to you very, very soon, okay?
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and
Take
keep
care.
your alerts on because we have a lot of things breaking today. Take care, Dean. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Take care, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. There you go. There's Lev Parnas, ladies and gentlemen. He called it. Live from my car, by the way. He called it. Absolutely everything he said that would happen today happened today, from election reform to the emergency order to get rid of mail-in voting, to him trying to present what happened with Trump with Putin in Alaska as a big win or something that was great for the United States. He complained that people don't give him his due diligence or due just desserts. He complained and boasted about stopping wars that he had nothing to do with stopping. He called it, and let's talk about the dementia. He called what the war that he stopped between Rwanda and the Congo, the war between Rwanda over there and the Republic of Congo. That is an unwell man. That's the other thing, and I want everybody to know this. That is an unwell man that not only is vacillating and had a hard time putting together sentences, not only vacillating between what we know to be the invader country of Russia trying to take over Ukraine, but he's still giving these guys bouquets because he's such a pussy. That's the other thing. Taco Trump appeared today. Dementia Trump and Taco Trump both made a massive appearance today from the Oval Office. And Zelensky had nothing to say because he couldn't say anything. That's why it was a nothing burger, because Trump did what Trump normally does, and he turned this whole thing into Trump 12.0 from the Oval Office, where he likes to tell everybody how great he is. And then he warned everybody. That's the other thing. He warned you. He told you he's coming for your free and fair elections. He was able to wrap that up in this shit sandwich as well, that he's going to come for mail-in balloting, mail-in voting. And he did it on the advice of Vladimir Putin? You gotta be kidding me. Kidding me. What we just saw was a fucking disaster again. Not only was he incoherent, he was just a fucking repeater of everything that Vladimir Putin told him to say. That's what today was. He's like a carbon copy. Guy's never had a fucking original thought in his life either. He just steals ideas from people and things from people, and then he goes and repeats those ideas and things and claims that they're his ideas. Those are all Putin's ideas. This whole thing is Putin's idea. And you know what's happening behind closed doors right now? You heard Lev talk about it at the start of the podcast. Donald Trump is telling Volodymyr Zelensky that if he doesn't want to get prosecuted for embezzling money, which is all going to be part of this thing, which he didn't do. He's going to frame him as an embezzler, one of those sweet little QAnon cherries that they like to talk about all the time. Oh, Vladimir Zelensky's taken billions in cash that other countries have given him. He's telling Zelensky behind closed doors right now, I'll make sure no one prosecutes you if you call an election and you're going to lose the election. You can come to Hollywood. Like Lev said he did with Nicolas Maduro. Lev was there. He was the guy that did that. Zelensky, come to Hollywood. You can own a production company. You just got to leave. And you know why? By the way, 88% of people in that country don't want an election. They just want to kick Russia's ass out of the fucking country. But you know why he did it? Because I know why he did it. He did it because Putin told him to. Because Putin's afraid of Zelensky. Putin does not want to be in the same room as that man, because that is a real man. That's the same thing that happens every time Donald Trump gets in the room with a real dude like Mark Carney, loses his mind. He's whoa, because he's a real leader. And Putin's afraid of one person. He's afraid of Volodymyr Zelensky. He really fucking is. Trust me when I tell you that. That's something that Lev has told me several times. My friend Alex de Rebecca from Ukraine. He's like, he doesn't want anything to do with Ukraine as long as Zelensky's there. And he's not going to get anywhere with Zelensky. And even it doesn't matter who it is. He's just trying to put up a stooge. He's trying to put someone else in Kyiv that's Russia friendly. So is Donald Trump. That's why Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend asked him that question today. Asked Volodymyr Zelensky. He's like, "Are you going to have an election?" Peter Doocy, same thing. That fuck. Well, you're going to have to. I mean, any reporter favor with Donald Trump had an assignment today, and that assignment was to actions that he pieced. That's what we saw today. Apart from all the self-aggrandizing bullshit, apart from the clear dementia episode that he had for a solid 30 minutes, every action that Donald Trump is going to encourage Volodymyr Zelensky to take to pursue peace is not an action to pursue peace. It's an action to give Putin exactly what he wants. Exactly what he wants. So that's what's happening behind closed doors. He's going to try and bribe Volodymyr Zelensky to move aside so that he can hand the Donbas, Crimea, and land that fucking Russia isn't even occupying, which is Donbas, the eastern part of the actual country of Ukraine. If you look at it on a map and you look at where Russia is, they're asking for 30% more. And Donald Trump is going to pitch that to him. He's going to try and bribe Volodymyr Zelensky to get out of office. He's going to tell him to come to Hollywood. Come on, you could be a big deal. You can make lots of money. You're a world hero. Just come. We'll give you a nice soft landing. Like Lev painted it for you. He painted you the picture, colors and everything. Told us that he did it with Nicolas Maduro because he did. And listen, yes, I know in geopolitical circles, sometimes you got to make a deal with the devil, but we're talking about Vladimir Putin. We're talking about the world's greatest killer. We're talking about a genocidal maniac responsible for the murder of millions of people, millions of his own people, hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians. We're talking about rolling out the red carpet and calling a man smart, which Donald Trump did when Dickhead was in Alaska this weekend, who's stolen and is selling 20,000 children online. We're talking about a guy who showed up to a peace summit, and then as soon as his plane took off from Alaska, he sent 85 Iskander missiles and drones into residential communities. He fucking bombed a university in Kharkiv today, in Sumy. Not Kharkiv, Sumy. Bombed it. It's back to school. You know, I think the sickest part, this is a great place to end it. Thanks for hanging out with me this far if you have. I think the sickest part for me was yesterday and today again when Donald Trump and the Trump regime and those fucking reporters who all had their assignment today. Well done, Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. And Peter Ducey, you prick. I think the sickest part for me is after all that, you know what Donald Trump said yesterday on Hannity? You know what he repeated today in the Oval Office? It's up to Zelensky now. You know what Medvedev said in a tweet? It's up to Zelensky now. It's up to Zelensky now. Russia invaded Ukraine. It's up to Zelensky now. What does that mean? Give us what you want. And we'll stop killing your people indiscriminately. We'll stop raping your women. We'll stop selling your children online. By the way, that wasn't part of this either. That's how you know it wasn't a fucking peace summit. I'm in Canada. I'm in the middle of cottage country in Ontario. This was that important that I pulled over for the last hour and 20 minutes. Just a bag of tools, too. Phone shut down 2-3 times because I needed to know what Lev had to say. We needed to watch that together. So grateful that Lev joins us on Mondays. So grateful that someone like Lev can speak authoritarian dictator asshole languages like Donald Trump. So grateful that he takes his time out to inform Canadians and Americans. Go and subscribe to him. Subscribe here if you can. 50% off annual subscriptions till the end of the month. Probably going to do it till the end of the year. We don't have a paywall. I'm just grateful there's 1.5 thousand people still watching this thing. I'm just grateful that you got a chance to actually read the tea leaves with Lev today. Because that was not a fucking peace meeting. That was propaganda. That was him greasing the tracks and getting Americans ready for martial law. That's what that was. They're using Ukraine. He used Vladimir Zelensky today. He used hundreds of thousands of dead, the memories of hundreds of thousands of dead Ukrainians and 20,000 stolen children. He used them today to tell Americans He's going to steal 2026 midterms. The martial law is coming. And lied his dick off all around it, like a merry-go-round of bullshit. From our perspective up here in Canada with a real leader with real acumen who tells the truth, Mark Carney. And just can't get over the fact that you elected that guy. Not you. Almost everybody here is smart enough that they never voted for him. But I can't believe it. I'll end with a story. Story time with Dean. Lev likes story time with Lev. I'll give you story time with Dean. I had a cottage just last weekend. And I ran into this couple from Buffalo. Buffalo is about 7 hours from where I currently am, which is about 4 hours outside of Toronto. Really lovely couple. And I only had 2 things. She had a crate full of things. Hey, big shop. I said, you got to do a big shop today. You're shopping? She's like, yeah, we just came up from... And she stopped and she looked at me and she goes, Buffalo. And I go, I love Buffalo. Bills Mafia, huge fan. Didn't miss the game last year. They're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And she apologized like every American does. I said, listen, we love you. We love having Americans up here. And she goes, we didn't vote for him. We didn't even say the man's word, the man's name. We didn't vote for him. Husband pipes up. Yeah, I swear to God, we didn't vote for him. I'm so sorry, dude. And I'm like, guys, we love the fact that you're here. Welcome to Canada. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy canoeing. And enjoy being away from the United States. And you know what the young lady said to me? Like, kind of a younger couple. She goes, we're going to move here. We've had 3 friends, 1 family member move to Canada. She goes, we're moving here. We have to get out. And I shook her hand and I shook his hand and I said, well, let me be the first to welcome you to Canada. She starts crying. I give him my phone number. And I said, let me know if I can help you guys with anything. That's what Canada is. I feel for Americans today more than I ever have. I feel for 300 million people, 77 million. Don't feel sorry for them. The ones who voted for that prick, but I feel for Americans. I watched that chat today. And I watched so many people, say what so many people do when you jump on our Substack chat with Lev or anybody else when we do a podcast. Hate the man. I hate it here. Can we move to Canada? Yeah, you can. Even sneak in. That's a new thing now. Record amount of people sneaking into Canada from the United States. But my God, I get it. I feel for you people. To all my American friends, we love you. Thank you for hanging out with us. To our Canadian friends, thank you for spending some time with us. We try to keep you informed, which is why it's gracious of Lev to join us like this. And just know Canada has your back. 300 million backs. We got about 30 million here. Well, almost 40, but I would say 10% don't really matter. Kind of like your 70 billion. Doesn't really matter. But 30 million have the backs of 300 million. We love you. Hang in there, America. Be back in about an hour and a half with my friend Zev Shalev. I'm going to make my way home. Be safe, everybody. And Slava Ukraini.